Share Fakye sports and I na ya ganjo mze debi ada woni pade mo Fakye TV woni pa bebre mo mze debi ada mo nkoso na omo hwe yini anu nkramfo so still won tonkoso na afi muntimi ni moda no na bibia anti menya kama kwaku wiase ayati no the amanfo dwene fa ho the amanfo kafa ho eni kwansa wo hyela man how bebre because ya de how a entima wonye adwuma na ese utimi ye and asa wo ya de na spirit of you. Not still amount for man with that kind of respect. Amount for more than vanka or more yes, I know sometimes but you shouldn't let that thing hit you. I'm talking in respect to a bunch of friends here, Romelu Lukaku. This is a striker that everywhere he's gone, he's been able to give numbers. So you be a goalkeeper. What do you say? Say older post in him, no one making sure say who keep it clean sheet, who yes saves and amount team. As a defender, the SOE say who protect your team from conceding. Make further, you also protect sometimes create chances and make sure say oh my team and so team flourish. As a striker, all that you need, everything that your team expected from you is to get the ball at the back of the net. Nothing more, nothing less. For Lukaku, he's been able to give goals every single team our ball. Maybe not to the level one team nepe, but the Wakubiano were giving numbers and so to media mom. If you look at Lukaku on the screens, he's been able to score 400 career goals from all Bonnie games. Other man in national teams that was kind at the moment now. He's been able to get 400 career goals, but he is someone that. You should have money the and late strikers now. But if you look at Lukaku, you check from Anderlecht the goals he was able to give them. Chelsea and a tie at the measure branch of Romelu Lukaku because of our first one when to me I give Chelsea what they needed because Chelsea felt say at the first time for Lukaku abano. Someone was there giving them the goals, making sure say or more I very take in the shape of Didier Drogba. So they brought him in thinking say about my replace Didier Drogba. When to replace Didier Drogba, then Okobium Asamba back to Chelsea. When to me and give Chelsea what they needed. So Chelsea don't even want to listen or hear the name of Romelu Lukaku.
Yes.
But apart from Chelsea, even at Chelsea when he was not flourishing the first time, he went to team friend West Bromwich Albion and was able to give 17 goals. From West Brom, Everton, you know what he was able to do for them, 87 goals in the Premier League for Everton. He came to Manchester United and gave them 42 goals. Even Chelsea, I say, and yet, in the first round and the second one, he was able to give them 15 goals. It's not an output that Chelsea for here because they saw Lukaku to be someone to replace Didier Drogba. And to me, that is where Chelsea for failing to understand say two players in Timmy Yabako. Didier Drogba with what he was able to give Chelsea, the kind of things Oyema Chelsea know, it will be hard to replace Didier Drogba. And it's been something that had teams in Ibi and they think say we brought in this player to replace that player. He was not able to replace him to Wasan. It's been the problem, and I don't know issues need to me about for a striker in Didier Drogba. Make my ball AFCON go back and win the goal king or Jeffrey Rooney's. That alone should tell you the kind of striker he is. Check the goals for Shedema Chelsea against the Arsenals, against the Manchester United, against the Liverpools in the Champions League where things were very tough for team and Chelsea. In the game against the Bayern Munich in 2012. That alone should tell you that he was a special player made for occasions like the big games and the big nights. They brought in Lukaku to replace him. When Jimmy replaced him, it's been something like Lukaku are failing with Chelsea. Indeed, he's not that kind of striker we need to be mentioning his name. But this is a guy who has been able to give 400 career goals. Everywhere he's been to, he's giving numbers. And I think that he's underrated. With the kind of things he's been able to do, with what he's been able to achieve, I think that he's someone in Shada Monedin, and we are looking at him because he failed to play Didier Drogba, and that makes him a bad player. Which of course he's not a bad player. Look at what he was able to do at Inter Milan with Antonio Conte, and it's something that we need to understand. That every single player we are As much as say oh, you're good, or you're talent, or you're whatever, no, you need people to believe in your craft. You need people to believe in what you can give them, and they give you a toxic free environment to make sure say oh give them what they want you to give them. And I think that you've not been fair to Lukaku, because what he's been able to do, the Belgium national team, he's been able to score 88 goals for them. He's the top scorer. And if you check the gap, it should tell you something great about Brand Lukaku. Manchester United always talked about him not being that flamboyant striker and all that, but he was effective, giving them the goals they needed. Everton, he gave goals. West Bromwich Albion, he gave goals, and even a hat-trick against Manchester United. How many players now they can boast of scoring hat-trick against Manchester United? Not many. But Lukaku, he's been able to achieve all these feats, but still, we don't respect him, we don't see him as a top striker. You talk of it, and people feel that teams like a Simwa on team more. Then I ask, Chelsea na one team ambo. Manchester United, he was able to give 42 goals. Inter Milan, he was able to give 78 goals. At the worst stage, in terms of national football, he's been able to give 88 goals. So at the top level, no, Chelsea pair and one team giving numbers, and Chelsea need to check themselves. Wakwaba twice. Still, he wasn't able to give them what they needed. And in those games and in those times he was at Chelsea, you could see that the game plan was not the favorable one. Apart from you check Inter Milan numbers. Yes, but beyond numbers. Apart from Chelsea, now went to my numbers, which of course I feel there now Onya or more people to supply him and the coaches to understand the system. No, when he's worked under Antonio Conte, he's giving his all. At Inter Milan, when he was working at Antonio Conte, look at what he was able to achieve with Inter Milan. And no, and a car who might Chelsea and Kofani BM and Nebaye, which of course went to me one and to me. So I think that we've not been fair to Lukaku. If you are talking about modern day strikers who have been able to give goals, he's one of them. He's been able to give goals to teams and even winning trophies. In terms like he won the Scudetto. So it tells you that he's been a good striker. We just need to understand him. But one thing that I like about him, with all those things he went through, he's been able to understand that the Nipa Jennifer oh, okay. The Nipa Jennifer when milk I see didn't so fran and call a brim name suffering bibiano ye or coach training near castle or need to money blin near nano. He's been able to achieve whatever he's been achieving. I think that's the kind of mentality every single person needs to develop. What people think about you shouldn't be something that ABOU about. And he's giving goals to teams that hold what Messi kind of things. It's something that a good and to the man. Kwaku Hansi Flick, Juma, we keep on talking about Hansi Flick. He's doing things the great teams in the Spanish La Liga, even po Antimianje on J trophy there. Kwaku, we've had teams they were strong.
The Diamo Flick as a man was on J trophy. No, that Super Cup no Koja Madrid 5 no.
It's not something that Basafona Kasabeka say Hansi Flick and Antimianje La Liga momo. Wanje Copa del Rey, wanje Champions League, nai okwa. No more county or more greatest managers. I won't be counting Hansi Flick naka home. It's the more reason why me personally may can't trophies. I mentioned them fair no count because the Barcelona people, the Barcelona faithfuls, want to see Hansi Flick winning the Champions League, winning La Liga, Copa del Rey, and maybe going to FIFA Club World Cup or whatever, making sure so watch. Which of course this time he won't get opportunity to go and compete.
So why MON-FRI no come on say me about Obiji La Liga, Obiji Copa del Rey, now that champions na makobo Super Cup. So it is the champions of champions. This is MON-FRI no can say man. Then the baby na me dey kono MON-FRI no so can say. And I want to ask me America mo.
Baby na me dey kono.
So you also call me about a Super Cup.
A Super Cup.
Odoje La Liga. Doje Spanish Copa del Rey. They are selected teams video account a kobo no baby. And I question Real Madrid 4-5. It is a way as a MON-FRI no can you know me ntwe mamokra.
So one La Liga, will you get the chance to play in that Super Copa or whatever?
Super Copa de España. That's why I'm person credit no.
No, I'm not discrediting him. But when Barcelona for Nankasa Tinasi, normally almost scale of preference in terms of trophies, they won't play the España ahead of any of the trophies that I mentioned. That's the more reason why, because me personally, I don't add it when I can achievement. but he's been good for team friend Barcelona.
I would love you to add it because Super Cup.
Okay, he's won
a Copa del Rey, but Super Cup.
Okay,
La Liga champions.
Okay,
Copa del Rey champions. Add it.
Okay, he's been able to win them the Spanish version of
fantastic.
The competition. He's been able to win that for them. But we saw Real Madrid, a team that they had BBC, have Cristiano Ronaldo scoring huge number of goals a season. They have Benzema, they have Gareth Bale. Barcelona and Casemiro had Suarez, they had Messi, they had Neymar. They were scoring huge number of goals at a point in time. Messi alone in a season, and I say in a calendar year or whatever, can get you like 90 plus goals in a season. It tells you the kind of squad I know more. You talk of the Xavis, the Iniestas. This were a squad that both near teams say yes, you've been able to mention good squad. But the kind of things Hansi Flick need team those teams they couldn't do. Not a single Spanish team. And at a point both season, he's been able to score 139 goals. When the Messis, the Ronaldos were giving a huge number of goals to Crano, this tells you the kind of team he's been able to build. He's built a team that they are effective with or without their big works. Those who are important in the team, when they are available, they deliver. When they are not available, they deliver. And it's the more reason why over Hansi Flick Abaso, considering the fact that he came into a team where financially their hands are tied behind their backs. They don't have money to spend, but he's been able to do with the little things he's had, improve the players. The players also adapted to the system, and they are doing wanted for team friend Barcelona. Something that ASA team commander Abranti and Asura, defender Hansi Flick. He is a manager on a style of play. And he's been able to blend the style of play, and the basa tiki takano, and they are playing. We've seen a lot of coaches caught in the shadows of a year Ure and Pep Guardiola. They will have their DNA, but they want to play like Pep Guardiola, and we see them fumbling a lot of times. You check over here Ure and Mikel Arteta trying to be Pep Guardiola in terms of playing the first number 9, which means in the league, Enzo Maresca trying to play from the back when Chelsea will be making mistakes and conceding goals. A lot of managers want to be like Pep Guardiola, the tiki-taka or whatever. But Hansi Flick, he wants to be a manager who blends the ball with Barcelona's tiki-taka, and it's been well for team friend Barcelona. We need to say Hansi Flick is doing things that manager Biana over Barcelona. Whether you have the money to spend or you don't have the money to spend, you'll be able to do the things you are doing. He is showing himself when they decided to let Xavi go, the legend of the club, they decided to say Nienko fa Hansi Flick Mbrano. Or yes, Hansi Omo say they made the right decision. And I'm sure now say Deco Laporta Tiho no more they will know say that they took the right decision, and they've made their fans really, really happy with the kind of football and everything that team friend Barcelona and so able. Kwaku, one say team be yes signing. I'm an incredible Buafuda. Say teams be yes signing now. Signing now, Banaka. The players are coming to improve the team and making sure say seem to what team number be here for, but not fans never is happening to Chelsea. The Chelsea fans are not happy their team is even signing anymore, because clearly they've been able to sign more than 40 players, and the 40 players they've been able to sign over is not giving Chelsea anything. If you look at Chelsea per CRES report, Chelsea the 5th team we are seeing 22.5 years. RB Leipzig more any Brentford more and Mancasa team France Strasbourg and they were in Columbus but they don't add anything to Chelsea. They've gone from the way when they were experienced players coming to the Chelsea setup, established players coming to the Chelsea setup under Abramovich, making sure that whatever they are competing favorably. In this case, Chelsea bringing unknown players, improved players that they've not proven anything beyond themselves, so they can help Chelsea. They are bringing them in. So for that fact, Chelsea fans are not even happy. There's something that Todd Boehly clearly need to change. Because the kind of signings, if the fans are auto players are not happy with the kind of signings you are doing, what is the importance of the signing? So they need to check.
Mate, Meda Sepa, Mamen call on YouTube. Mauser Dodone joining our Fakye.